let's do a quick recap. So the session 0, so that everybody kind of got to know each other, got a little bit of a feel for how I DM, busted a drug ring run by an old lady.
That's true.
And stole one of her kobolds.
I wouldn't say
Adopted.
stole. We adopted.
Yeah, it was
Adopted.
more of a
Yeah,
surprise adoption. The drugs in our pocket. No, that was officially stolen. That was 100% stolen.
I don't know what
100%
you're talking
stolen.
about.
Zentha knows better.
Lynn gets the nuggie. It is definitely not Owl. A squid must live.
That's our
Mr.
goal, is to
Tech.
get Squid through this campaign.
I don't care about me or these losers. I will persuade.
Let us get started. At session 0, you guys were given cruise line tickets, the Starborn Cruise. Squid is dressed in very, very casual, hand-sewn clothes, very obviously sewn by a grandmother, his former boss, and he is bundled up in his blankie. And the cloak of protection.
My giant frog is with me at all times.
Yeah, you had a little trouble getting your frog on board. It wasn't properly dressed, so you had to put a little bow tie on it. You guys just have a grand old time. There's a chill in the air as a storm brews overhead. By evening, the storm has hit. Suddenly you realize, but the boat has been toppled. Everybody give me some deck saves. None of you made it, and the last thing you're aware of is the feeling of icy water and choking mist. When you all awaken, all of you are in the middle of a misty forest clearing. You find what looks to be a single dirty postcard. Welcome to Barovia. Wish you were here.
This may just be conjecture, but we may be in Barovia.
You vaguely remember reading about a country named Barovia, but it hasn't been heard from for over 500 years. As you guys are traveling through this path, you notice that the forest is completely silent. Grixis and Zentha, you guys notice the sound of horses coming up down the road behind you. You guys duck into the tree line. From the mist, you see the vague shape of 5 horses approaching. As they get closer, though, you realize that their movements are too fluid and their faces are far too small. You can hear soft human breathing, wet and sickly from the fog. They sniff at the base of the tree that Grixis is hiding in.
No.
But then they begin to move on.
Let's just keep moving. Let's get to a town or something as fast as possible.
Wait, what's your
And
frog's
what?
name?
Just frog?
Zentha, why do you hate humans so much?
I'm an elf. Well, they're
I mean-
nasty, selfish beings. They're all the same. But everyone's the same. Everyone is nasty and selfish.
It appears that you have reached a small village. You're greeted by the sight of empty streets and shuttered windows. There are a few people who are just wearing like full black clothing and mourning veils. You reach a small tavern. Over the door is a vandalized sign. Now it reads "Blood on the Vine." The tired-looking, strongly built man with the massive bags under his eyes is the barkeep.
Do you guys get people wandering in who don't know how they got here very often?
Far too many.
And I noticed everyone kind of dreary. Is there a reason for it?
The burgomaster recently passed away. A young man comes in, dusty blonde hair, very nicely dressed. That's the burgomaster's son, Ismark.
Where are we?
You're in the village of Barovia. My name is Ismark. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Tell me a little bit more in detail of what happened with the burgomaster.
Everyone in the village, including my sister, believe him to be dead. I have doubts. I'm looking for people who would be willing to take me to the city where he was supposed to go. I firmly believe that he is alive.
What city was he headed to?
He was headed to the city of Vallaki. The one who rules this place and has for over 500 years, Strahd. He controls the mists. Nobody is allowed to leave or come in.
Tell us what happened to your dad.
He and several of the villagers decided to go to Vallaki. It's fortified, it's well supplied. We've never heard of any food shortages there. Doru, the priest's son, he was the only one who returned. He said that they were attacked, but he couldn't find my father's body anywhere. Vallaki is just 2 days away by horse and carriage. If you
We
are
have
willing
neither.
to take us there, I will give you all the money that I have. You're welcome to stay at my home.
Okay.
I'd like to go to the church and talk to Doru.
Towering right over the church at the top of this cliff is this looming shadow of a castle. That's Castle Ravenloft, where Strahd resides. He leads you up to the front steps of this very small, very old-looking church. Outside is an older man sweeping the steps.
Has he said anything about what happened?
All he said was that they were attacked by monsters. He was struck unconscious, and when he woke up, the entire group had been massacred. Burgomaster has not been found yet. We assume him to have been turned into a vampire. He does seem like he's hiding something.
If you don't tell us what we need to know, it won't be good for you.
Ismark looks like mortified.
Can I talk to you for a second? And I want to pull him away.
You're scared of the Lord. That's fine. But you should be more scared of me.
Does Doru have a house nearby?
He lives in the church with his father. Normally he would be the one out here sweeping.
Let's go say hi.
Father Donovich is a little too busy being intimidated, so you kind of manage to slip away unnoticed. My son did not come back normal.
Is there any way we can see your son?
I would much prefer that he not be visited. He's not himself. All of you
Okay.
do kind of notice that Visilian and Ismark are missing.
Listen,
but
Ismark, he's definitely hiding something. I don't think your friend is okay. We need to check on him.
You're right. You managed to get the shutter open. The room is in disarray, and the door leading into the church has been heavily padlocked.
Father Donovich went to a lot of effort to padlock this room with no one in it.
You climb in, and you find a trap door on the floor.
I feel like it would be in our best interest to keep the priest distracted. Kind
Do a
of.
little dance. Do a little
Hey,
Hey, you want to see what Squid can do? Squid, get it.
I'll take a flute out. Doo-doo-doo, and Squid just starts like dancing.
It takes Squid a
This is
couple
so-
seconds to catch on what you want him to do, but
These are not
he
my
doesn't
kids.
tap dance. Very concerned. Fitch wanders off. Ismark gets startled when he happens to look out the window and sees Fitch just standing there. You cast dancing lights into the basement. You catch a glimpse of someone crouching by the stairs. I escaped from that fight with the burgomaster. I was certain that I would die, but then I saw him, and I woke up alive, but not human.
Strahd,
Yes, I'm so
to
hungry.
make you...
I don't know how long I can control myself. You guys leave the room through the window.
Go.
All right, we gotta go. Thank you so much for your help.
Come on, Squid. You did a great
Squid.
job out there.
I'm tired. Ismark leads you to a small 2-story house. Off to the side of the house, you can see a young woman chopping up firewood. Darker skin, her hair is kind of pulled up in a sloppy bun.
Denton ain't never seen a human look like that before.
She holds her hand out to each of you to shake. I'm Marina. You guys get set up in rooms. They kind of give you free reign of the house. The next day, you guys wake up to the sound of heavier objects being dragged outside. You guys help load up the carriage. It's not a very fancy carriage. As you guys leave the village, you guys are heading into the forest. The first part of the journey is very uneventful. She pushes the carriage a little bit further until it's almost dark. She kind of pulls it off into the tree line. The night's mostly uneventful. You guys are traveling for about an hour and a half. You guys can hear the sound of horse hooves behind you.
Oh.
Trouble's coming. Be ready to keep moving.
You see 4 of those horse creatures, and as they get closer, you notice that there are creatures riding on their backs, large rats of some sort. After attacking it, you see the front of the rat start to open up like a flower. Its face splits into 4 petals. It splits open down to its rib cage. You can see its ribs twist into almost teeth-like shapes. 2 of the rats, they grip onto the hair of the horses that they're on, and you can see their back legs pop out of their sockets and extend, and they
What
stand
the
up.
fuck?
The one that Fitch has been attacking jumps onto the carriage. One of the horses actually does get up to the carriage and tries to knock the carriage off the road. Ismark barely manages to keep the carriage on the road. With your crowbar gone, the horse has a concussion. You guys managed to actually lose them. So you guys rest for probably just a couple hours to let the horses kind of cool down, and then you guys get moving again. About evening time, when the sun is starting to set behind the clouds, through the fog you see the shape of a windmill. And you also notice that there are lights inside of this windmill. You guys knock on the door, it gets yanked open, and you guys kind of look down. There's a girl who's about 10 years old, dressed in this very poofy, very rich-looking dress. What are you doing here? This is my windmill.
We would like to stay overnight, but that would be it.
Do we?
Fine, you guys can stay for a little while. Rex,
you,
we
that's
have
very-
guests! She claps her hands. You see an elven butler come down from
What was
downstairs.
his-
Red hair kind of brushed back. He looks very put together and much friendlier than the child. And a leather holster at her back. It's kind of tucked underneath this obnoxiously large bow. You do catch a glimpse of what looks to be a magic tome. My name is Cosette von Himmelreich. Down the stairs is a very, like, flashily dressed young man. Dark hair kind of pulled back into a ponytail. Glasses. Very tall. And wearing heels. Oh, hello! Hello, my darlings! It's so nice to see new people. You all seem so much more friendly than Cosette does. Cosette is so very, very cranky. He appears to be a half-elf. This is not my home. This is Cosette's home. She stole it. It's been abandoned for so long. She forged her name on the paper that we found. Oh, she's dreadful.
If you find her so awful, why do you stay here?
Oh, because she feeds me.
Is there anything we can do to earn our beds?
Yes, actually. I'm glad you asked. The farmhouse down the way, it makes a huge ruckus at night. I'll let you guys stay the night. If tomorrow morning, first thing, you take a look at it.
I think that sounds
Okay,
pretty
yeah.
Eventually, you guys end up turning in for the night, and you guys have a somewhat restful night's sleep. And that is the end of your 5 days, 4 days in Barovia.